recently you made a decision to follow after Jesus, right?
Yes, I did.
Amen.
And so, hey, we're going to talk tonight. We brought Matt up because me and Matt have been meeting, and we've been talking about his testimony, and it's absolutely, we were sitting there talking about it. I was like, man, you need to share this thing on a Wednesday night. And I got him up here because I know that this will impact your heart. It will absolutely bless you. If you just keep your mind open, your heart open, this will bless your socks off, all right? So, hey, Matt, could you just tell us what your life was like before you met Jesus, before you came to church, before all the God stuff? Could you just tell us a little bit about what your life looked like?
My life was very dark. My parents got divorced when I was 7 months old, and I really didn't see much of my dad. I didn't really talk to him that much, and my mother raised me, so I didn't really have that father figure in my life, and we really didn't get along. I live there now, but still to this day. I told him I was coming to church and stuff, and he just made fun of me for it. He thought, how do you get saved? How's this? How's that? But I try to explain to him, but it seems like he'll never understand.
So how old were you when your parents separated?
7 months old.
7 months old. Your parents were divorced?
Yep.
And so, my parents never got a divorce, so I can't talk about the trauma of that, but can you tell us a little bit about the things that caused inside of you?
It caused a lot of anxiety, and depression, and my anxiety was actually really bad. It was to the point where I ended up having to leave day school and go to night school because my grades were dropping, because I just couldn't be at school anymore. If I picked up a pen, I thought the ink was going to poison me and I was going to die. I couldn't even get into a car with Kevin or Drew. I couldn't do that. I was too scared to let somebody take over and drive down the road. I thought I was gonna die. I wanted to be in control.
So were you would you describe it like being ruled and dominated by fear?
Yes, definitely,
Anxiety?
definitely.
Yeah.
And I felt like there was no way of getting out of it. I went to counseling, didn't work. I tried talking to my mom, it didn't work, and just kept on getting worse.
Wow. And so as we were talking earlier, you were talking about how you would always feel like insignificant and even lonely at times, right?
Yeah.
And so could you tell us what you began to do just to feel not lonely anymore?
It came to the point, I had a good amount of friends growing up. I wasn't I was never really alone in the physical aspect, but emotionally I felt so alone because my friends, they would use me for if we went to a party, for instance, I would be the sober one. I don't drink, I don't smoke, I rarely ever have in my life. So they would use me to drive them to the party, and when they get drunk, drive them home. And I would end up contacting them later on in the week, like, hey, want to chill? I'm busy. Or, don't answer me. And I was like, I thought to myself, I was like, I'm not doing anything wrong. I'm just trying to be nice. But it just, I felt lonely, but that was the only way I could feel like I had something.
And so you almost never felt good enough.
Yes, never.
And as we were talking earlier about this, he also said, we were talking about his father, and he said, I never felt good enough for my dad.
Yep.
Is that right?
For my father, he only calls me if he needs help with something. And for me, throughout my life, I felt more of a servant to him than a son. And that's the way I felt. But now that I have God in my life, he's my father, and I'm gonna serve for him, but I want to serve for him.
So you just said that your dad looked at you like a servant and not a son.
Yep.
But your Father in heaven looks at you like a son, and all you can do is serve him.
Yep.
So good.
Oh, isn't that interesting?
Amen.
I find it interesting as well that your friends wanted to just use you and manipulate you for the wrong things. But right now you're being used by God for all the right things.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
Isn't that amazing?
Definitely.
How God can just come up in your life and redeem situations.
Oh yeah.
Wow. Hey, so you recently, within the past 2 weeks, I think, came to Young Adults for the first time. Can you just tell us how you met Jesus, bro? We all want to know, how did you meet Jesus?
All right. So Kevin Nolan, raise your hand. He tried getting me to come to Young Adults for the past 6 months, And he was like, dude, it'd be cool, like, let's go. And I'm like, probably not. I was like, what is God? Like, I don't know. So, I went to the beach one day and, partied with all my friends, driving them around. And then after that, I was like, you know what, I'm gonna go see Kevin, He's all nice and stuff now, so. Before he wasn't, but now he is.
Praise God.
So I came, Kevin was painting the side of the wall on the outside of the church. It looks beautiful. And so I was talking to him, he was like, dude, young adults tonight, 7 o'clock, like, come on. I'm like, maybe.
I'm busy.
Nah, yeah, like, I'm busy. And then sure enough, like, Caleb walks outside. I'm like, oh, here we go. Like, Caleb's gonna be like, hey, come to young adults tonight. Sure enough, he did. And I'm like, looking at him, like, all right, he's like the youth pastor. I can't say no. I was like, I'm considering it.
So I was like, he ain't coming. There's no way he's coming. I'm considering it, just say no.
So I leave that day, and Kevin's like, dude, come over. I'm like, all right, looks like I'm going to young adults tonight. So we show up to young adults, and they start playing the worship music up front, and like everybody's raising their hands. No offense to anybody,
Before that, you were saying that you walked in, and everybody's greeting you.
Oh yeah, I walked in, and everybody's like, dude, what's going on? Like, how are you? I'm like, I don't know you. How are you? But I thought it was like the nicest thing ever. Like, nobody's ever like said hi to me if you don't know me. Like, I don't know, it was awesome. And
so I just say, hey, shout out to all my greeters, all the greeters that served here. You're phenomenal.
Shout out to Stacy. She had a huge heart when she walked down. She was like, "Hey, nice to meet you." Like, gave me a hug and stuff. I was like, "Nice to meet you. You're awesome." I know. She's cool. Amazing. She's cool.
Gift from God. How did you meet Jesus, man?
So that night goes on, and everybody's raising their hands, and I'm like, "What is this? Like, what is everybody doing?" And I'm like, "This is weird." So Kevin comes back, sits down, and I'm like in the middle of the row, like back there, and I'm like looking to my left. I'm like, all right, there's like 6 people to my left. I can't leave because that's gonna like be really awkward and like everybody's gonna see me. I look to my right, and Kevin's like, this is awesome, right?
I don't know what all of us like Christians do. We're like, you like this, right, man? You like it?
Yeah, so obviously I'm like, dude, awesome, like cool. So I'm like, all right, now I gotta stay. I was trying to leave, but now I gotta stay. So I stay, and the night goes on, and I come up here, and like, you and your brothers are like, dude, how was it? I'm like, good. Like, I thought it was pretty good though, because everybody was so nice, but I never got that true feeling of God. So then Friday comes around. It was the Nights of Refuge, which everybody should go to. It's at 7 o'clock every Friday night during the summer. And so I was like, all right, like Kevin's like, dude, there's spike ball, there's volleyball, like football. I'm like, all right, I'm in. Wasn't thinking about God. I was like, I'm in. So I go.
What did you do before you got there? Remember, Kevin, you said,
oh yeah,
I need something.
Okay, so this plays along like later on in the story, but we were at Kevin's house, and I was like, dude, I need my bathing suit. Kevin's like, why? I'm like, dude, I need my bathing suit. I was like, I want to go swimming today. He's like, all right. Yeah, we drove all the way to Carver to my friend's house to pick up my bathing suit, and then drove all the way to Cedarville, so I wasted a lot of gas. Low income, wasted a lot of gas. So.
I think it's wasted.
We'll pray for you. So what happened, man?
I put on my bathing suit and I go there and I'm like, didn't swim at all. So, that my buddy Jonathan, he's, talking and praising and stuff, and then Kevin looks at me and like, hold on, before that. So I was like, all right, like everybody's doing the hand thing again, and I was like, I want to know what that is. So I was like, maybe it's like they're talking to God, obviously. So I put my hand, I'm like, God, like please, like show me a sign over the ocean that you are real. Something like a blinking light that goes away right away, or something that flies over the ocean, like a little like something, I don't know. Like 1 minute later, I'm sitting there looking out over the ocean. This black thing goes right over the ocean. I'm like, he's real, man. He's real. I was like freaking out. Everybody turns around, they're all laughing, like, hey, look, like, right, making jokes, and I'm like sitting there. I literally, I keep you on, guys, I started crying. And,
hey, because real men
Amen.
Like, I didn't want to feel the physical aspect of it. Like, a lot of people are like, my heart was pounding. I was like, that's going to scare me.
Yeah.
Heart attack.
I want a heart attack. So at that moment, you were kind of like
Yeah, I was like-
he said, God, give me a sign.
Yeah, I was like, yeah.
And a
give me
minute
some-
later, you saw something. You said, give me a sign over the water, right?
Yep.
And a minute later, he sees something floating over the water. Something really insignificant, mind you. But I wanted to say that God always works in the little insignificant things that happen in your life.
So
What happened after that?
Jonathan, our buddy Jonathan was talking, and I like looked up at Kevin, and Kevin's just looking at me smiling, giving me one of those weird smiles. And he's like,
But it's irresistible.
yeah, he like, gives me a wink, and he's like, come on. I'm like, okay. So I walk over to Kevin, and I'm like, he's like, you ready? I'm like, I'm ready. So we walk down to the ocean, he prays over me, and I repeated after him everything, and I gave my all to God. And me and Kevin walk back up.
Can I
Yes,
say?
you can.
All right. So meanwhile, and you can't make this stuff up. And I was going to go over to him and tell him, like this boldly, like I never do this for people, but I knew God wanted me to do this. I was going to tell him, bro, you need Jesus. You need to just give your life to Jesus now. And I was going to say that to you.
Mm-hmm.
And so as I approached, actually I was looking for you. They approached me, and Kevin's like, hey man, he just gave his life to Jesus. I was like, there's no coincidence in the kingdom of God. You know what I'm saying? All right, anyway.
Yeah, so then I looked around, I was like, who else is coming over to me, like trying to, ask me if I'm ready?
Yeah.
It's like everybody's coming up to me.
And so you got saved that night.
I got saved. And then Kevin's like, dude, that's not a coincidence. Like, you're the only one here with your bathing suit on. You're getting baptized tonight.
Yeah.
Dude, I was like, it's 10 o'clock at night, like
It's like
the water's freezing, the air is freezing.
Yeah.
Sure, let's do it. So I'm like, all right, you know what? I'm gonna go get baptized. And
Hey, we looked at him though. We were like, do you want to be baptized?
Yeah.
And he said, yes.
Yep.
I was like, yep, I'm ready. So Caleb told everybody kind of what the baptism is and stuff, and we walked about 15 feet into the water. Everybody had their flashlights, like 50 people on the shore had their flashlights aimed over us. So we go into the water, and they're like, Matt, are you ready? I was like, yeah. They dunk me under. In the process of dunking me under, Kevin gets bit by a crab in the foot. Flings it off of him. And
The enemy's trying to attack.
yeah, exactly. The enemy was trying to attack. One last time. And so
you got baptized that night.
got baptized in the
At
ocean.
10 o'clock?
10 o'clock.
In the night, in a freezing cold ocean.
Mhm.
That, mind you, Kevin and I went there with him.
Thank you. I
And we
appreciate that.
dunked you,
Yep.
like Dunkin' Donuts.
Yep.
And you came back up,
I came back up
a brand new
a
man.
brand new man.
Amen.
Amen.
So, Matt, if I were to ask you, hey man, like, what has God, like, in those moments, like, what has God done for you, man? What has He done for you now?
Tremendous things. After that day, my anxiety was gone. I have not had one anxiety attack. I would have came up here and had an anxiety attack. I didn't. It just all went away. Like, I'm so calm right now. And my anxiety's gone. My depression's gone. If my dad's gonna try being some way to me, I'm just gonna laugh it off and be like, all right, I'm not gonna let it get to me.
And you're going to honor Him, right?
Yes, and I'm gonna
We
honor
were
it.
in my office, and you mind if I tell that?
Yep.
We were in my office, and we were talking about his dad, and his dad caused a lot, like a lot of pain, turmoil, and just caused a lot of dark stuff in his life. And we were in my office, and he goes, you know what? I love my dad. And if I were to say something, what were you going to say? He said,
I remember
honor
talking
my
about it, but I don't
my dad
remember what I
today."
said.
I just think that if that's not a testimony right there, the fact that even though this man caused him so much pain, he's going to love him and he's going to honor his dad back.
Yep.
Isn't that amazing?
Amazing. So, the past week went on, past 2 weeks actually, and my life has been amazing. I live for God now. I don't live for myself. I don't live for anybody else besides God. And, some people think that God is only about going to church on Sundays or coming to young adults on Wednesdays. It's an everyday thing. Dedicate your life to Him because He dedicated His life for us.